This is the HomeTech Podcast for Friday, February 6th from Sarasota, Florida. I'm Seth Johnson.
From Reynoldsburg, Ohio, I'm TJ Huddleston.
And from Pickering, Ontario, I'm Gavin Campbell.
And welcome to the HomeTech Podcast all about home technology, home automation, and dear God, guys, who left the door open up there? Gavin? TJ? It's been in the 30s all week. I don't understand this. We have frozen iguanas everywhere. It's a bit of a massacre. I think they're all dead. I've looked at my iguana page all week. It just says warning every day.
And you're complaining about 1 week. We've been doing through this for like months now. This is norm.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to get used to it with the climate change and everything, I think, Seth. So this is like, I was amazed when I went down, I think it was last year, and it got down to, I guess, 45 degrees when we were in Brevard County. So I was actually listening to a radio series this week, and they're interviewing this guy that went out and caught 3,000 iguanas.
Yeah.
Because they were frozen, they can't move. So it was a perfect time to go catch them. And he's like, there's way more. This is not even going to make a dent in anything that we've done. So
wow, 3,000 iguanas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just went to the tracker website. It's saying we have a low of 35 tonight. So we're definitely in the warning zone right now. And you guys,
I feel your pain.
Oh man. TJ, 5 degrees, Gavin, -3. And that's
it feels like it.
Yeah.
You're talking Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit.
Right?
So Gavin, -19, TJ, -15, yeah. Seth,
Celsius.
2. Yeah.
I'd be happy with 2. I think it's supposed to go up to 0 on Friday. So and we're already like preparing for that.
Well, we're not happy about it.
It's still cold here, but for some reason all the snow is starting to melt. Huh. And I'm like, I don't like, how is this happening right now? But it's, you can start to see grass again because we got 11 inches of snow last weekend. And yeah, we can see grass now. That's how fast it changes in Ohio.
Wow. That's impressive. Everyone here is cold. I can tell you my wife's not happy. She's like, I'm so cold. I've not been able to warm up all week. It's like, it is chilly. It does get chilly in the morning, but I don't know. The house never seems to warm up anymore. So, all right. We got. Speaking of warm weather, I guess the ISE is going over in Barcelona right now. So not warm there, I'm assuming, but it would probably be nice. We've got some home tech headlines on that from the Pro Space. There's news in the Pro Space, CJ.
Stop
I know you're excited.
Stop lying to the people.
I don't know if I would say excited, but yeah. We'll see. What is it, Seth?
We've got a couple of things from ISE. The news stories are lining up. It's still early, I think, so. We'll probably see more of those stories kind of start dropping over the week, this week and next week. And then, off to the races for the rest of the year. But getting some interesting things there and some new products. Got a bunch of new products this week. So what do you say we jump into these home tech headlines?
Let's do it.
Nice is showcasing its smart living ecosystem at ISE 2026, showing off the Elan OS 9 and the Yubii OS platforms. Not heard of the Yubii OS. It's interesting. I guess the Yubii Home, it was only previously available over in Europe, but now it's launching in North America with initial support for motorized shading. And from what the article here says, Yubii OS is kind of designed to manage Z-Wave and Nice protocol devices. And it's a more simple solution for home control than the full-blown Elan OS system. So, and there's some nice, no pun intended, nice updates from Nice, I guess. But I don't know, TJ, you're more familiar with Elan. Have you heard of the Yubii thing before?
I think I have heard of it. So I'm a Nice dealer, but I haven't really sold much since they went through the whole name change, which I think is still an awful idea. I don't want to tell anybody about this system because it's called Nice. I mean, it'd be like telling somebody about a system and it's called like the or something. I don't like. What kind of automation system are you going to put in here? Nice. No. What system? Nice. That's what it's called.
Nice.
So that still irritates me. But I think they were talking about this a couple of years ago. And they definitely need something because like the UI and stuff is pretty antiquated at this point. I think they do have a good system already because they support Z-Wave, which is not like a super common thing in the professional industry. Just like you could just pair up any Z-Wave device to it and you can still add, device drivers and integrations and everything else you normally would. So I think they have the potential, but it's been so not maintained for a while. But this is something I think they were working on for a little while.
And it looks like they're just integrating both of these together. So the UBS will talk to the Elan OS or something. I don't know. I'm looking at their webpage now and I'm even more confused by this whole thing. I mean, I know the Nice products. I know like the Elan side of things. I understand that. The Yubii looks like it's these Z-Wave add-on devices. And so I guess that's how they're bringing in these extra devices. It's just strange that there's a whole other platform for that.
To me, it seems, I don't know if I'm like reading too much into this, but this seems like a way for them to make the system modern while still maintaining older things.
Yeah.
Because they could make everything, I don't know, it just seems like it'd be easier to do that with this kind of split, but maybe I'm reading too much into that decision.
They've got these big old buttons you can buy. There's just like a giant button, like a big red button or a black button or a white button. You can buy that.
Where are you seeing this at?
It's on their website for the UBOS. I'll put a link here for you to take a look at. Gates and garage door openers, heating and security. The lighting, the little lighting thing looks like with that eyeball. Who made that eyeball motion detector thing?
Fabaro.
Fabaro, that's the one. Yeah, it looks just like that.
Here, this is something I just came across from Fabaro, ironically. From 2021 that talks about Yubii Home. Yeah, and they actually mentioned Nice Down later on in the article.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. I guess like it says, it has been available in Europe for a while. So if anybody's over there and has used a Yubii Home, then let us know what you like about it. I
feel like an idiot. I guess I forgot that Nice also owns Fabaro, so that makes total sense.
Oh, okay. I forgot about that.
So they're basically just using the same platform for professional or DIY, and they're basically just allowing the Nice platform.
Gotcha. Okay, so
yeah. See, I don't know anything about this company, which is funny.
Wasn't Zeus using the same platform?
I think so. Yeah,
for their controller. Yeah,
I think Fabaro.
The ZBox Hub, right? Yeah, I think it's the same thing. I wonder. I mean, it kind of opens up the range of devices that you can get if you're going with like some, I wouldn't say DIY, but like Fabaro, Z-Wave products. You can get those put in, some shades, that kind of thing. You can get those put in with this hub and then integrate that back into a bigger Elan system if you want. That makes sense.
Yeah, and I always like the Z-Wave support anyway because I could sell like inexpensive light switches for smaller systems.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm doing like a simple home theater or I'm doing, like a TV room or something, mainly TV rooms and home theaters where I would use Nice at this point. But I can install, 2 or 3 or 4 light switches and not kill the budget because I can buy Zeus light switches, for example. And, it's $120 for 4 light switches instead of spending, several $100s on like Lutron switches and a hub and whatever else. So
very nice. I keep saying it, but I guess
such a terrible name. I don't like it.
Well, speaking of terrible names, and interesting that they've branded it this way, but ADI is previewing its upcoming T5 touchscreen models. And if you've never heard of the ADI T5 touchscreens, because it's Control 4. I don't know why they call it ADI.
Oh.
So weird. Anyway, they're releasing those and introducing a new Control 4 Connect subscription for the X4 platform, which I have heard is a little bit better than what they were doing before. But the new T5 models include features like magnetic trims to match the deluxe lighting line. They do look nice. Proximity sensing, dynamic screensavers, and a dark mode. I know that there are a bunch of dealers who are very... I don't know if they're excited. There was a lot of problems with the T4, and when they moved to the X4 platform, evidently the T4 touchscreens were not ready for that move. They wanted to stay back on the old ones. I don't know. Evidently, there's a lot of problems around the T4 touchscreens and the X4 interface, including like the intercom just like stopped working completely. So I was seeing a lot of complaints about that. Not the first Control 4 touchscreen that has been problematic for the brand. And hopefully the T5 will be better. I don't know. I can tell you that I've been through this very conversation in the past, maybe 2-3 times. But I was in the forums kind of looking at this announcement and reading what dealers were posting, and they were saying, never again, not buying a Control 4 touchscreen again. So, good luck there. And I think the Connect thing, they had basically locked down the Control 4 system back right before Snap AVE was sold to ATI, that they were locking things down and basically turning it over to just like, you can't really do anything unless you were paying for that Control 4 Connect subscription. And now that wow, if I remember reading it correctly, they basically pulled it back, and it's a more reasonable feature set you get if you if you're not, you can actually like use some devices in your house. I think before you had to pay the subscription, or you couldn't even use an iPad in your house connected and control, something in your house with that iPad, unless you were paying for the subscription, which was kind of like a big letdown, kind of painful. But I think they walked some of that back. But now, if you want the Control 4 Connect, I think it just basically adds that remote access back in, device notifications and that kind of thing. It kind of feels like what it used to be before. Maybe there's some subtle differences, but it sounds like it back when I was doing it, it was called Foresight, and it sounds like it's closer to that. So hopefully dealers like that, and maybe they'll like the T5 touchscreens. I don't know. It'd be interesting. Wonder how much they cost. They do look nice. I'll give them that.
They look a little better, but wouldn't they look better with no bezels?
The in-wall ones.
Do they need bezels?
Hold on. I had a picture of the in-wall ones. I didn't post them.
I mean, like, I understand you have like a camera up top and like that kind of thing, but
here's a picture over on the SnapAV website. And it shows a better picture of the on-wall or in-wall. They're calling it in-wall, but it mounts on the wall.
I mean, that's a little better, it looks like.
Yeah. I think it looks pretty sharp next to the if they're matching the lighting trims and everything. It does look pretty sharp with that. In the back box, they mount in a standard 2-gang back box, which is nice. You don't have to go crazy. Used to in the past, there were like these random size back boxes.
Oh my God, obnoxious.
Yeah. So PoE. There you go.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know if any of our listeners are using a touchscreen in their house and if they actually find it useful. Because I've always like seen them in people's houses, and I've installed a decent amount of them. And I feel like in houses they don't have a lot of uses. They make sense in a commercial space, right? Because you walk into like a conference room and whatever, you want to be able to start a Zoom call. That makes sense. But like in a house, I've just never found like a really compelling use to have one.
Like in a fixed location in the house, you mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Like a mobile iPad. Like I've installed some of the, I think they call them like launch ports, where they like they attach to like a wireless charger on your wall.
Yeah.
And then you like pick. They have like an obnoxious case that comes with it and all that good stuff. But I like the idea of that because I can pick it up and take it with me, and they have like tabletop stands and all that stuff. So like that one makes sense to me. But just like a fixed tablet on your wall, I don't understand the purpose.
Yeah. I tried going down that, putting a tablet in and having a dashboard set up and stuff on it. But I found like the wife was just intimidated by it. Like she didn't want to touch it at all because, there were too many buttons, or she was afraid she'd break something. She's been more receptive to using the Amazon devices to control things.
Mm-hmm.
For the voice control.
Voice control, yeah. And then we have some automations.
That makes sense because you can just like yell it out. You don't have to like look through like menus and stuff because honestly, it takes a lot to design a good like interface anyway. And some platforms like Control do make that easier. But there's still like a programming aspect to it that you have to figure out.
Yeah.
And it's not always intuitive. So it heavily relies on the programmer, but I don't like them. It makes me laugh when they come out with these little switches that have like tiny screens in them. Like I'm going to like go down to my switch level and like control my Sonos device or something. I'm not going to do that. Like that sounds like an awful idea to me.
Those are the worst. I honestly don't understand why anybody would want that. Like you have to, unless you're like 4 feet tall, it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Yeah. And very, nearsighted or something? I don't know.
And if you are, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, speaking of touchscreens with a lot of buttons, I guess Google Home has finally added support for buttons, Gavin. So there you go. You can have programmable buttons in Google Home now.
Yeah. And that's coming off the heels, I think, of the Amazon devices adding the same type of support. But, I'm shocked that these systems took so long just to add support for a button. And that's sometimes why I hate these systems, is they're just so far behind. Buttons have been out forever.
They're a real thing in the world, yeah.
And they can't be that complicated, right? I mean, it's like a switch. Like they control like light switches and dimmers and stuff. So like, how hard is a wireless button?
Right now, you have a Google developer and Amazon developer yelling at the screen right now because of you saying that. How hard can it really be? Yeah. If we knew the legacy code they had to vibe code around.
It's a button. I'm not asking them to add like robot vacuums or something. I'm pretty sure they have robot vacuum support, but they don't have button support.
That's true too. Like they have other devices that are even more complicated. Like how could buttons fall to the bottom of your want list?
Like a ton of people have buttons. Like they have like a light they want to control, but they can't like use their normal light switch.
Nah, can't do that.
So they use a button for it.
This is a respectable home control system, TJ. Come on.
Oh man,
We can't do that.
Yeah, this stuff annoys me. Like, I understand like new features coming out and stuff, but it's a button. That's not a new feature. We've had buttons.
It's 2026, man. Come on. Give him a break.
It was funny though, because I was listening to the Verge podcast, and Jen was on the show, and she was talking about this, and somebody actually wrote in, and they're like, "Hey, why doesn't Google support buttons?" And she was like, "I've asked Google so many times, like even on stage, and they have not given me a reason." And then I opened the news app on my iPhone like right after the interview, and this article was out. So I was like, "Fine, like that's crazy though. I don't understand."
It doesn't make any sense. I mean, yeah, some of the things that go missing in some of these platforms just don't make any sense. But then you have like Home Assistant, which like everything can be a button. So
yeah,
there you go. Speaking of buttons, I guess Ikea has all those new devices we talked about. They're having problems with the Matter, TJ. And you were telling us, you were telling us before the show you were about to head on over to Ikea and pick up some buttons, and some sensors and some bulbs and some plugs, and now it appears that the line is facing widespread connectivity issues. So, yeah, weird.
Yeah, at this point, I do not need any more smart home sensors. I have smart home sensors out the wazoo at this point. But I was near IKEA, which I am quite often, so that's like it's a good excuse. But I was near IKEA the other day, and I was like, they just came out with these new Matter devices, and they're like $6. Like I can go buy a couple, $6 devices and at least play with them. IKEA devices are pretty nice to have, and I didn't give in to temptations because that's how strong-willed I am. And I read this article later too, and I was like, well, it's a good thing I didn't buy anything because all my Matter devices I've ever tried to make work with Home Assistant do not work at all. So I don't know if it's Home Assistant. It might be. I'll talk about maybe trying to resolve that here in a bit. But it's just, I don't have luck with Matter devices anyway. So I should not curse myself with Matter devices, even if they're from IKEA.
Yeah, sounds like it's a wait and see on these. Yeah, even if they started $6, it's probably something you want to wait on.
They look pretty nice, though. I mean, they have a couple stuff that looks pretty nice, like the door sensor.
Mm-hmm.
I like how thin and narrow it is. That'll be nice. But yeah.
And if any company is going to be able to put in the time and effort and money to fix it, it'd be IKEA.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, they've had a pretty solid platform before. So,
but the last thing I expected them to have problems with is Matter.
Yeah? Well,
yeah, I thought Matter was, pain-free.
Allegedly, yeah.
That's what we've learned over the years.
Yeah, that's what we've been told.
All right, well, let's move on here. We've got, I guess, if you're in the market for an 8K LCD or OLED panel, well, it's too bad. Because LG is not going to be making them anymore. Sony's not making the TVs anymore. Who's going to be making these 8K TVs? I guess the manufacturers are just like, 4K is probably good enough, and no one wants 8K, and there's no content for it. They're really high priced, and there's very little difference that you can actually see on the screen compared to a 4K TV. So let's not make them anymore. So
was 8K ever really a thing though? I mean, it seemed like more of a marketing of, hey, we make 8K.
It's around. I mean, but again, there's no content for it.
Yeah, there's no demand for it, probably.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people with 4K TVs now, and they're still not even using 4K.
Right.
I don't even think they just say, I have a 4K TV, and then they're playing some SD content on it.
Yep. It upscales to 8K, though. That's how you know it's nice. I guess Samsung has a $3,500 8K TV. I think that's the cheapest one out there. I don't know. If you're curious at how this works, there's plenty of screen size. There's a chart that has the screen size and the distance that you're going to be away from it, and if it even matters. Does the resolution matter? And at certain points, 8K serves no benefit. Unless you're watching the 8K TV 2 inches away, it's probably not going to serve you any benefit. So it's probably it's not great. I don't know. Added to that in all of a whole host of other technical problems of getting that much bandwidth down the HDMI cable. I even heard that China had their own non-HDMI cable they were using for some of these high output video formats now. It just seems like a headache. So
I was curious. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So I was curious because they say that Sharp brought the 8K prototype to the CES in 2012, right? And I was like, what was 4K adoption even in 2012? So when they started talking about 8K, what was it actually at? Sony was just talking about rolling out 4K to all its televisions in 2012.
It was a dream.
They're like, this is what we're going to do. So like, even when they were talking about 8K, there was no reason to talk about it because nobody even had 4K yet. And then I was curious, 2018, the adoption for 4K was roughly 25%. So still a super low number. And that might be a little wrong too. I haven't had a lot of time to look into this part, but like whenever they talked about 8K, there was no reason to talk about it because nobody even had 4K yet.
Right. Yeah,
so they should have waited a long time to even try to like make this into a thing.
Well, I think for the bigger screens, like building size screens, the more resolution you get, sometimes the better. But at some point, like there's this chart is actually down. The little resolution limit matrix is down in the bottom there. Like if you have a 100-inch screen and you are 3 feet away from it, yeah, a 16K screen is what you want.
Right.
If you're 6 feet away from it or 2 meters, an 8K TV is what you need. But not many people have a 100-inch screen and are sitting 6 feet away from it. So I think more people probably have a 65-inch TV. They're sitting definitely 10 feet back. That's perfect for 4K. Like that's a great sweet spot for that. And if you're like back in the kitchen even further, it's even better. It looks even better. You're not going to you get no measurable visible difference on the picture at that point. So
yeah, like a theater or something makes sense, you know?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but even in a theater, you're going to be 10 or 15, 10 feet back probably. You're not going to be right on top of the screen. So I think like for digital signage, it makes sense to have these high resolution displays if you're trying to emulate print on like the side of a wall, but otherwise it doesn't make any sense at all. Anyway, let's move on here. We've rest in peace 8K TVs. We hardly knew you. I think I've ever seen an 8K TV out there. We've got some new lights from Govee. Govee's got some path lights. They've got outdoor path lights too. They launched on March 3rd in North America and Europe. New model features an upside-down L-shaped design that projects distinctive S-shaped lighting patterns. It supports 16 million colors, yay, I guess, and multiple lighting effects, including continuing Govee's focus on customizable outdoor lighting. These lights are Matter 1.3 compatible. So they're going to integrate well. We'll keep on it. If you get these Govee lights, I mean, Govee's known for how well they work in their integration. So if you're using the Govee app, they tend to work fine, but integration with anything else, But looking at the little light pattern these things make, that's kind of cool. I like the little Easter egg hunt thing they have in this picture.
Yeah, I like to see all the outdoor stuff coming out. We need more outdoor smart lights because it's such a good market to be in because there's not a lot of products out there, and if there are, they're either expensive or they're not very good. Mm-hmm. I have some Nanoleaf ones and I've had some LifeX ones. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like them. They're not very good. But Govee, I don't think I've had any problems with my Govee stuff. So I might have to check them out for some of my outdoor smart lighting, like maybe my whole house lights or something.
And the funny part is I kind of went the other way, is where I just bought regular outdoor lights and just put them on a smart switch. So I don't have all the color control and everything like that, which is probably
You can't have effects, Gavin.
Yeah, I can't have all the effects and stuff, but they're reliable.
Hey, Gavin, do you have Matter 1.3 on yours? No, I didn't think so. Next.
Who needs Matter 1.3 when I got Home Assistant?
You got a physical switch that you can turn on.
And a physical switch, yes.
Yeah, I don't want all my lights to be color, or like I don't need like individual control. Like my actual landscape lights, like on the trees and the pathway lights and stuff like that, those are now just regular lights. But my permanent house lights are color changing. And sometimes I have them off, and sometimes I just have them white, or during the holidays I have them colors. I had the LifeX path lights before, but wasn't a big fan of the color pathway, at least.
Yeah, my neighbor just put in a bunch of landscape and outdoor lighting, like on his house, like physically on his house. He's an electrician, nice. Like commercial by trade, and I looked over at his house one day. I'm like, oh man, it's gorgeous. Like he did everything right. There's lights like in the soffit, down the side of the house, shining down. a little bit. And it just looks amazing. I had to catch him when he was out there, and I was like, man, your house looks great. You look at mine, it's like sad. Look at this. This is beautiful.
Yeah, I thought about doing that, but I don't really have like soffits. They're very small. It's like 2 inches or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know how you would do that.
Yeah, it's like even I have I think it's a Uniview camera. No, actually I have the G6 PTZ, the unified PTZ out front. And I can't even mount it in the soffit. I have to have a piece of wood to put inside the soffit so I can mount the camera to that. It brings it past it. So I don't have a lot of options there, unfortunately, but that would be nice.
Yeah, and he did it right. Like all the lights outside color match, like there's whatever he used, it's done right. He's even got these like the bollards like shining on his driveway now.
Ooh,
like,
that's fancy.
It looks so nice. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit more with the landscape. He hadn't done the landscape lighting. It's just like building lighting and a little bit of around like up lighting for some arches that he has on his house. I'm like, man, it looks so nice already. So can't wait to see what he does, and maybe I'll steal some ideas, because I'm not creative like that. I just run my Christmas lights out there and pretend there's landscape lighting for a month.
It is amazing how much proper lighting does make a difference on a house. You can tell, like, especially when you go like the nicer houses in the area, and you see the ones that actually have landscape lighting, the ones that don't, and it's just like your house just stands out so much more.
Oh, yeah.
Like it adds a little bit of security. You can see things that are happening and stuff like that. So this all like improves my camera views. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So there's definitely good benefits to it.
Yeah, one day I'll get to it. I put in my projects of things to do.
Gavin and I will come down and do it.
All right. Yeah. There we go. It's cold now. You guys would fit right in.
Yeah, I'm not coming down right now, though.
All right. Dream or Dreamy. I'm never sure how to pronounce this one, but they've launched the Lightstrip P11 in Europe. It offers a high brightness smart light strip with Matter support and multi-zone RGB-IC WW lighting. It has 108 LEDs per meter and up to 1,800 lumens per 6 LED segment. And use case would be things like accent walls, under cabinet lighting, that kind of thing. Just accents. Supports 70 presets, including music, reactive effects, and allows different colors and whites to appear simultaneously along the length. Integrates with everything. I have 5-meter strips, has 3M adhesive on it, and it costs €100. So probably about $100 here whenever it makes its way this way. So it's competing with Philips Hue Flux strip. So this one has 1,800. The Hughes has 1,200. So you're trying to one up each other on the lumens there.
So being our local lighting expert, are these good stats?
Yeah, it's not bad. The high density is really nice. That's because then you don't get those hot spots like every inch or whatever. Allegedly, it works better if you do have like a lens or a filter on it. But like having them even like a high that many lights per meter does make it nice and even, and that's what you really want. Some of the other light strips out there, they have it's just almost solid LEDs across the entire light strip. It's crazy how dense they can get. But this is Philips lights have a pretty good density to them, and I guess these do too. So yeah, 108 per meter. It's not bad. Trying to see what we have. Let's see.
It's hard for me not to want cob lighting, it just looks so much nicer.
It's kind of the same thing with cob lighting. Like it's pretty dense. Like they'll have a bunch of little LEDs in that center section. We have 192 LEDs per foot on ours. So quite a bit on there. Let's see what per meter that would be. 192 times 3, I guess. Close enough. So 576 LEDs. Of course, ours aren't color. It's just like two LEDs in there, basically, doing warm, dim, and selectable color. So
I think it's time for an LED per meter database.
No, there's so many LEDs out there. So many LEDs out there. All right, and we've got big news here. We saved the best for last.
Big news.
Gavin, EcoWits launched pre-sale for the WH52. It's a wireless 3-in-1 soil sensor that measures, hold it, moisture, temperature, and electrical conductivity. What do you got to do, man? $22 on pre-sale here.
The That's actually pretty impressive, but they obviously don't listen to the show.
They still made the one where you can step and brake on it, right?
Yeah, we learned the hard way with this one. You know, I wish they would make a Zigbee version of this. So there's two problems here. One, this isn't lawnmower friendly, you know, so if you hit it with your lawnmower, even if you step on it, it's black.
And they said they painted it black. You should see this.
The black thing annoys me the most. I think it should be a different color, please.
The old one was green. This one's black. You step on it, you're going to snap it off. That hurts every time you step on it, you know, as a professional soil moisture sensor breaker person here. You know, they added all these new features. I wish they made it a Zigbee version. The reason why is because it has this little red light on the top, right? They give you a cover to cover up that.
Is that what those little caps are?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
One cap is for waterproofing the battery. That makes sense. But they give you a cover to cover the red dot that flashes. So it doesn't look like, you know, you have a light show going on in your lawn. And I get that. But that red dot helps you find the thing when you have to find it. But it's covered by a cap. So the day you have to go find them and you can't find them, you're not going to see that red light. If they made a Zigbee version, then you can turn off the flashing red light and turn it on when you have to find it. Or an audible sound or something, because I have lost one in my lawn, only to find out the mailman stepped on it and it was somewhere else.
As I say, you can just wander around your lawn until you feel something crunch and you're like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, done that. Even the funny part, even when you know they're there, I still stepped on it. It's like, okay, be careful, crunch.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, it's not the soil sensor to end soil sensors. I'm still waiting on a lawnmower friendly version of one of these, you know, at a reasonable price, because I've seen some that are like way out there. I don't know. I think it may be just hard to manufacture it because the board goes straight up, and for them to make the board go up and then have to flatten out, it might be it may compromise strength or something like that. I don't know what the problem is, but why haven't they released a lawnmower friendly version of one of these yet?
It's probably just battery life, to be honest. I mean, I would imagine that with us being in the north, we're not going to use them for more than 4 or 5 months out of the year.
Yeah.
And so at that point, we don't need a lot of battery life, but other people are going to leave them in all year round and stuff. So maybe it really just comes down to battery life.
The battery life on these are amazing though, because they're just shooting out a RF signal every minute. That's all they're doing, right? So I don't have to worry about battery life. I think it's the way the board is designed and the strength. I think it's the strength behind it that they can't make it flat. I'm guessing though.
Yeah.
Did you see the temperature range on these, Gavin? -40 to 60 C? Like you could just leave these year round if you wanted.
Technically you can. Yeah. Technically, I can. And no one walks on the lawn during the winter, so they won't get broken.
Well, I mean, but you'll know what the temperature of the soil is in the winter.
Exactly. I have a soil moisture sensor already. Not soil moisture, soil temperature sensor. But I take it out come fall. It's mainly used to tell you when the ground's good enough to throw down some seed and stuff like that.
Well, $22.99 US on sale, $5 off. Normal price is going to be $27.99.
It's not a bad price.
Not a bad price, yeah. You could step on a few of these. I mean, it'll hurt when you step on them if you start stepping on a lot of them.
They don't hurt. Trust me.
I mean, like the price, the wallet is going to hurt.
Oh, yeah. I've broken, I say, about 5 of them.
It's like, oh my God.
Yeah. Because
that does hurt.
I had about 6 or so of them in my lawn. I have a pretty big lawn, for me. And it's got many different zones based on where trees are and stuff. And that's mainly why, because one zone is so much different than the zone that's out in the open versus I have a big evergreen in my front, and the soil around that, the water just gets sucked up by that tree. So that zone alone is its own ecosystem right there, right? So I had a lot of these and I just kept stepping on them. It got expensive.
It's about a 5.5 inch with the sensor, but how far does that little top part stick up? They don't have a measurement on that.
That's a good, about 2 or 3 inches.
2 or 3 inches?
Yeah, it's like 2 inches. It's enough to, for your toe to hit and knock over and stuff.
And break. Yeah. I'm just wondering if the lawnmowers, the
lawnmower will not go over it. Trust me.
Won't go over it. Okay.
It won't go over it. I mean, I haven't gone over it, but I've hit it with the lawnmower.
Well, no, I mean the like the Navimo. Will it?
Nope.
It'll turn around and say, like, I can't go through this stupid thing. Yeah. Okay.
Nope. One day we'll get one.
I use them in my raised garden bed, so I do not have that issue. My problem is I'd store them over the wintertime and I forget where I put them at. So.
These would be perfect for your garden bed, though. I think these are great. They're cheap. The battery life's great. So, TJ, I would grab these for your water beds.
Well, that's what I have. I have these and the old version, not the new fancy version.
Time to upgrade.
I have those old ones, but I also have some Third Reality soil moisture sensors as well. So I have a good combination of things because I need.
Were the Third Reality ones outdoor though?
Yes, they are outdoor.
Okay. Because they have a new version out as well.
Yeah, those ones are nice because they're Zigbee, but they have the same problem too where they stick up quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know what it is, but they don't read like a soil moisture percentage. They actually just report a humidity sensor. And so I think that's just like a workaround for Zigbee.
It's the same thing. I think what happened was they actually messed up the driver in Zigbee to MQTT, and the newer ones actually show moisture.
Okay.
So there was something about that, but it is soil moisture, even though it said humidity.
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's what I tracked it off of, and it seemed to work all right. But that was the weird thing when I first got them.
Even their Photoshop on their website of the lawns picture is not like I mean, this is Photoshop. They could have done something to make this look better. Put this in our channel here, but you can't. Like, they have these things, they look like yard signs or something. I don't know. They could have made them smaller, but no. It looks like if this is what it actually looks like in your yard, Gavin, I'd question like.
Well, I always laugh at the pictures from the smart products. Like they seem like they put no effort in at all to make these pictures look good at all. Like, this is just them.
Have you never installed them?
Yeah, like just take a picture of one of your installs and just, I'll send you a picture of it in my lawn.
Yeah, they've never been installed anywhere.
I know.
All right. Well, no. My grass is looking pretty awful now. I think whatever was living underneath ate all the roots, and then the moles came through and ate whatever that was. So, yay for me. I don't know what's going on with the thing this year.
I don't think the temperature's helping your lawn right now. It's probably not used to that.
Yeah, the grass we had was like the native grass, but it does have some pests that can get into it.
It's probably gone dormant at this point. It'll bounce back when things warm up.
We'll see. I'm not complaining if it doesn't, but it is a big dust bowl out there right now. Doesn't look healthy. Maybe I'll get into these later. We'll see. But anyway, all the links and topics we discussed tonight can be found over on our show on our show notes page at HomeTech.fm/561. All right, nothing in the mailbag this week, but we do have a pick of the week, and this is from a Ring doorbell camera video. And I guess this happens when it freezes. This is what I'm unfamiliar with, and I'm just gonna give my Florida man version of like what I see here. It snowed, something happened, and then the snow is now not snow. It looks like it is just solid ice, and the delivery man. I guess he's delivering a cake, like one of those cakes you buy at a supermarket that has like a plastic case around it. And he's trying to get it up onto the porch where he can, I don't know, take a snap picture of it or something. But he can barely walk on this lawn because it's all ice. It looks like it's all ice. So he's like shuffling flat-footed over thing. He slides the cake up onto the porch and kind of gives it a nudge. He can't get up the stairs because, again, all ice. And the cake, when he puts it on the porch, it starts sliding like backwards a little bit, and then it turns around and starts sliding forward as he walks away. And then the cake just makes a run for it, and it goes. And you have to watch this video with the audio because it just keeps going, guys. It just goes and goes and goes. It's just gone. Some say it's still going. I don't know where this thing went, but it's gone.
I've been there. This brought back memories. In Canada, we've had these days, and where you've slipped and fallen on the driveway or something, and it's a sloped driveway, and there's nothing you can do but ride it to the bottom.
You just got to go. Just got to go all the way down.
Yeah. Just tuck and roll, tuck and ride it all the way to the bottom. And yeah, I've been there.
Scariest is when you're in a car and that's happening to you.
I've been there
a couple times where you're just like, oh, I guess I'm just sitting here and letting this happen.
Yeah, I've gotten pretty good at falling. There's a skill to falling. When you know you're going down, don't try and save yourself. Just try and stop yourself from getting more injured.
It's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt. Yeah, just make sure it hurts on a part you don't really need.
Yeah. Good advice.
Good advice.
This is a man that's fallen a couple times.
Oh yeah, I learned it when I was snowboarding in my snowboarding days. How to fall with grace. It's all about how you play it off when you get up.
Just dust your pants off. Yeah,
dust your pants off. Look at the people who are watching you and say, that was a new trick I'm practicing.
Aced
it. Aced it. Yeah. Nailed it.
Yeah. Oh man. The audio, you have to watch this video with the audio. The cake just keeps going. Like it's in the next neighborhood over. But you hear that rattle on the ice, like plastic scraping across ice for 30 seconds here. It's so funny. I need to be this delivery guy. Be like, does he have to go get the cake? Do you think he brought it back?
The homeowner should have thrown down some salt or something.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I felt bad for the delivery guy having to put up with that.
Is that what you have to do? You have to throw salt out so
grab a shovel.
Anything?
Wait, TJ. These are things Seth doesn't have to deal with. He probably doesn't know what life like this is. Okay, yes. We usually have this salt, and ice builds up. You throw a little salt out.
It's kind of like table salt, but a lot bigger.
Yeah. And it melts the ice and it allows you to walk on it better and stuff,
okay.
The
salt is pebble size, just so you know.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
You throw it on your walkway, you throw it on everywhere. You don't want somebody to trip because if somebody slips and falls on your property, there's a lawsuit coming.
They're not going to do it gracefully like Gavin, and they'll probably lose your cake in the process.
A lot of people don't know how to fall.
Well, check this out. This is hilarious. This guy didn't fall. I mean, he didn't get his quick picture, that he delivered it to the thing in time, but he didn't fall. So good on him for not trying to go up the stairs, though. I don't blame him for that.
Yeah, this is the annoying thing working in the service industry because we had the giant snowstorm last weekend, and people did not do anything. They just didn't clear their driveways and their sidewalks and stuff like that, and they still wanted you to come over and work in their house.
It's how do you drag your tools through that?
Yeah, and it's I'm not doing that. I don't need to do that, so I'm not going to. If I when I start getting snow inside my shoe, we're done. Because if I get wet socks, I'm not working. That's going to be gross.
That's the end of it. Yeah.
And if I get wet socks by myself, that's my fault and I'll continue working because I want to do the job.
No.
But if you give me wet socks, I'm not working.
If I get any wet socks, I'm done for the day.
That's what I'm saying.
That's it.
You just feel gross at that point,
Yeah, I'm going home. I stepped in a puddle of water. And I've got water went into my. No, I'm going home. It's the end of it. I'm not walking around.
Same concept. I mean, I made a homeowner literally shovel me a path to my van. Because I was look, when I got stuck last week, I was I'm not going to work unless you shovel me a path. And she was like, you need a path to your van? And I'm like, yes. Obviously.
Oh my God. Oh, well.
So yeah, these people exist, unfortunately. Clean your sidewalks.
Clean your sidewalks.
I clean my sidewalks because I have UPS and FedEx and the postal guy that comes to my house every single day. And the postal worker guy still walks through my snow-covered lawn.
That is the funny part, though, is you can clean off your sidewalks and everything. They will still walk through the lawn and
mess up your eco-wit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and do that. Listen, if you're walking through my lawn and a snow-covered lawn and you trip and fall, that's all on you.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's not an authorized route that I've authorized on my property.
All right. Well, if you have any feedback, questions, ideas for the show, pick of the weeks, or funny Ring video doorbell camera videos, let us know. Give us a shout. Our email is feedback@HomeTech.fm, or you can head on over to HomeTech.fm/feedback and fill out the online form. All right, project updates. I have already heard about this device database from Home Assistant because I watch Gavin as a service as a religious thing, and I know we're going to talk about it.
I appreciate it.
And Gavin was talking about this, but Gavin, if somebody, I don't know how they're doing this, but like if somebody doesn't like watch videos on YouTube and they don't know about this because they weren't watching Gavin's as a service, what's this about? What are they doing?
Oh, it's the brand new release from Home Assistant, and I'm not even gonna bother. Just go watch my video.
Oh man,
I set him up.
I'm just kidding. If I have to pick some new things that I really liked, keep in mind they've now renamed add-ons are now called apps. So that's a big naming thing you're gonna have to get used to saying. The dashboards they've been working on for the last few months, or more than the last few months, have now become the default dashboards, and it looks so much better than the previous default dashboards. So they're more dynamic. They have things laid out much nicer. They have summaries. So I'm going to start looking into those dashboards and maybe see if I can make them my default. But I like what they've done with that. And they're only adding more to it. It's going to get better from here. So, go play around with that. And then they announced the device database. This is something I think they announced. They announced this last year, but they've been working on it. And they finally opened it up to the public now. And it's basically an opt-in. You have to go into the lab section and enable it, and it will send information about your devices to their database. And it's not sending anything. There's no private information. Like there's nothing to worry about, right? It's just sending like what devices you have and how many of them and information about those devices. None of your private information is getting sent over. They're very open to that. You can browse the database too and see, what's out there, and you'll see how many people, what's the most, what devices in the most homes, and stuff like that. Give it some time as people, opt into it, and it'll grow and grow and grow. And then they'll take that information, they'll utilize it for something good for the community. They're thinking things like, adding to the information instructions on, adding, removing. Because sometimes when you're, especially with those weird devices, those one-offs, you have to re-add it. It's like, how many clicks to get it to exclude or include, or what do I have to do? Some of them are like plug it in and plug it out 5 times, and then plug it in 2 seconds at the last one, and then it will flash, and you'll never find those instructions anywhere. This is where they plan to start gathering some of that information. And like I said, it may expose some companies that people just don't like. I hope they add like a rating to it. Like if you can upvote a device and downvote a device, and, the community together can come together and say, we really like these Zeus devices, and upvote them, right? Where, some knockoff brand they ordered off Alibaba or Temu, they can downvote that because it gives so many problems, stuff like that, right? I really hope they go that far. And I hope one day, get to the point where you add a device, say you add a smart fridge, you add that smart fridge to your home, and it has a custom card made for smart fridges because it knows it's a smart fridge. It knows what entities are associated with it, and it has a nicely designed card. So now you don't have to design a whole thing around it. So who knows where they will take this, but I'm excited to see what they do with it.
I mean, that would be the dream, right? Is that you just add stuff to Home Assistant and it automatically makes an interface for you, or makes those cards and other things for you. Yeah, that's ideally what I want, right? Because I know I want to control my light switch, and I want to change the colors or whatever it is, and Home Assistant knows what those devices are already. Because they're controlling them, right? So adding this little functionality in there, that'll be huge.
It sounds interesting. I'm looking for this labs area on my Home Assistant. I've never even.
I think it's under. 1 second here.
Who knows? It's not here.
It's under settings, I think, and then you should see.
I see tags and
settings,
system. Maybe it's under system. Oh yeah, system.
Yeah,
there
under
it is,
system labs. There it is. Yep.
Okay. Purpose specific triggers in winter mode. I don't need winter mode. But this. Maybe I don't have this thing in the labs because all it has is enables new purpose-specific triggers and conditions.
Did you update to the latest Home Assistant?
No, not
We're
yet.
live on the show. There you go. You got to do it. Updating live.
Update it right now.
I can't do it. It'll break stuff I have. I don't want to talk about.
It won't break anything.
Yeah,
Actually, I updated earlier and it didn't break anything. It surprisingly was really smooth. So chances are you have like a 60-40 chance of it breaking something in your home.
Well, I'm enabling these new purpose-specific triggers and conditions. So to see whatever that's about.
You might like those. Those are pretty cool.
I probably should learn more about what that is, but
watch my video.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. So, all right. It may be updating. I'm not sure. All right. Well, let's see who's on the board first. I switched away to update Home Assistant. Is it you, Gavin? Who's on there first? It is you.
TJ.
No, TJ.
You might as well talk about your stuff, Gavin.
Yeah, you've got a video going on.
Yeah.
Well, I was saving the best for last. I want to follow up Seth because there's a common topic we had in here. I want to talk about.
I think we should do this strategically. How should this work? Because you can follow up me. So.
All right, there we go.
All right, fine. I'll go first. Jeez, mine's not that interesting anyway, I guess. So I've started organizing my office with my 3D printer. I saw a meme the other day, and I think I've talked about this once before, where when you get a 3D printer, you just print organizational stuff.
Yes.
And that's 100% true because that's all I've been printing. I printed the mounts for like the Xbox and Nintendo Switch and stuff like that a couple weeks ago, and I recently moved my desk around in my office where I'm more of like in this little like cubby or alcove, and I'm able to like put stuff on the walls around my desk and stuff like that. And so I've decided to print a bunch of organizational stuff to mount things. And so if you look behind me, I've got like this little IKEA Scatus Pro pegboard that I've printed. And I just print like little things.
For the listeners out there, only we can see, and it looks good.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like it's a little thing you print, and it's just like the IKEA stuff where it's just modular. You can get like little pen holders and hooks and little tubs and shelves and all kinds of stuff for it. And I can just print it. I start a print when I go to sleep, and then it's there when I wake up, and I put it on the wall.
Nice.
So I've got there's certain ththings that are on my desk all the time that don't need to be on my desk, right? Like I don't use my webcam every single day. I use it maybe once a week whenever we do the show. So that can hang up on the wall. So can my microphone and my pens and my cables and stuff like that. So I've started doing some of that. It's made a real big difference just getting crap off my desk.
I did that too when I first got my 3D printer. I did the honeycomb wall.
Yeah.
So I printed a whole bunch of the honeycomb stuff and adapters, and like you, got a whole bunch of stuff off my desk onto the wall, and it freed up my desk space, and it's so worth it.
Huh. Yeah. Yeah, and I think I made the design for the UNAS 2, the Ubiquiti UNAS 2, where it's a little wall mount for it. And I think I'm going to make a new revision that attaches it to the Scatus Pro board too, because I could put another board exactly where the NAS is right now. So I might work on a revision of that as well, which will be kind of fun to do. I haven't made too many 3D printed designs yet, so that'll be a good reason to do that. Another thing I've been working on is I decided, I think it was like literally last episode, I was like, I don't know if I could buy the Z-Wave, the Home Assistant Z-Wave and Zigbee hubs because they needed to be standing up straight. I don't have a lot of space in my rack. And I'm proud to say that I own both of those now because I had to, I'm going to install Home Assistant in my office to watch the seeds and stuff that we're going to be watering to start our garden this year. And I bought a little pump from Apollo Automation, but I need to get some like soil moisture sensors and stuff so I can determine how much water the seeds actually need. So I'm going to install Home Assistant there. And I was like, well, that's a good opportunity for me to go ahead and get the Home Assistant hubs. And so I got the Z-Wave one. I got the Zigbee one. I got the Z-Wave one already set up. That one wasn't too bad. I used Z-Wave JS UI. I followed the instructions. I had to like update both adapters via a computer, which is like crazy in 2026. That part was awful because like it was just like airing out every time I wanted to like back up and restore. It was like, no, it's not the same version. It's not this. It's not that. And I was like, don't we have the technology to solve this? Like, this is why I hate Z-Wave. And I remembered why I don't like Z-Wave, and it's because of stuff like this.
Stop hating on my Z-Wave. But to be fair, Z-Wave has come a long way with stuff like this. Like, there was a point when the backup and restore, they only introduced the proper backup and restore. You had to have it at a certain version. But to upgrade your controller to that version, you had to get a different piece of software. You had to plug it into your computer, pray to the gods that it worked, plug it back in, cross your fingers. And yeah, it's gotten a lot easier now once you're on the latest of everything.
Yeah, I mean, but that was like the painful point, right? It's just getting it to that point because like, I downloaded I think it was like the Studio 6 software, but like the guides weren't written for Studio 6. 6 or it doesn't support it. I don't even know still to this day. And so I had to find Studio 5, and then I figure out how Studio 5 works, but it didn't actually tell me like how to actually install the software. It was just like install the PC controller, but the PC controller was under another like subdivision of the software that you had to like figure out. So it took me like 2 days on and off because I like wasn't going to spend a lot of time on it at one time. But I eventually got it. And so that wasn't too bad once I figured out how to like update things. I've started looking at the Zigbee equivalent because I use Zigbee to MQTT, and that one looks like a nightmare.
It is.
So I'm not looking forward to that at all. I might actually just reconsider and just put the Home Assistant Hub at the office. I don't know because I don't want to do this. This is awful.
It was, honestly, I felt when I switched over on that one, I got lucky. Some devices still didn't add back on their own. I had to go wake them up, but it does say you have to wait like how many hours for some of them. And I didn't want to wait, so I just had to go around and wake things up and then make it repair, and it fell back in place. But it was a pain, and I do feel like I got lucky with that one. How many Zigbee devices do you have?
I think I have like 60 or 70. And what makes me worried too is that it's literally all my lighting.
Yeah.
So like if my light, well, I guess I'm using direct binding, so that like shouldn't mess it up, I don't think.
No, it shouldn't.
But like literally, like all my lighting is Zigbee. My water leak sensors are Zigbee, which sucks because those are in places that like I don't want to access. Because they're just hard to access for some reason. You know, they're behind the wall or they're behind the washer and stuff. So I'm not looking forward to that. So yeah, Gavin sent me some instructions because I cashed in some gas, some of my gas pass.
Pass.
And yeah, so I'm going to try to do that this weekend. I think I'm going to have to go get a 6-pack or something though.
My advice is wait till it's bright enough that you don't need to turn on any lights too. And
or
then just
open the blinds.
Probably within the first hour and a half, you'll know if it worked or not. And if it didn't work, at least you have the rest of the day to go and fix them and repair them and stuff. I'm a master at doing that now.
I feel like I just want to do that anyway, but I know I don't want to do that because there's just so many different groups and everything.
Yeah, no, I'd try do the switch over first, and worst case scenario, you'll just go and rebuild your Zigbee.
That sounds awful.
You'll be in a better place once you switch over. Just think
I don't
of
think
the
I
end
will.
goal. You will be. You will be.
I don't think I will.
You will be. You'll love it.
But keep it on the 3D printer task. I printed some wall mounts for those as well. Because when the same thing I talked about last week, where I can't put them on top of my rack or in my rack, because that would be a terrible idea. I had to put them on the wall somewhere. So I found some 3D printed files for those as well. So I got some really long USB cables, and they're wall mounted in my laundry room next to my electrical panel. So I'm sure it's fine. It's okay.
Very cool.
You'll be in a better place.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it, but
at least with Zigbee or Z-Wave, you will be. Like I've noticed since switching over to the ZHA 1 or 2, my Z-Wave has been so much better, so much more reliable, so much faster. And I've moved all my antennas back to the furthest corner of my basement where my rack is. Like I used to have them in the center of my basement. I got rid of all that. They sit on top of my rack in the corner now, and I have no issues at all. So
nice.
You'll be in a better place. I highly recommend it.
You can do it, TJ. I believe in you.
Oh, well, that's nice. I like the aesthetics of it. You know, it kind of looks like a cell phone tower in my laundry room, just the light up top of it. It's kind of fun.
Just get it to like beacon.
Right? Every time you walk by it, it just lights up. The last thing I'm working on right now, it's hard to believe, but it will be spring at some point. And I started working on my irrigation system. Last year, I just used a combination of basically just sewn off Zigbee hose timers, which worked all right. I mean, I didn't water for the entire year, so I mean, it had to work somewhat right. But they're so bulky. And I can only have a certain amount of zones with it. So I bought like this, this hose spigot to like 4-way T adapter thing. And I had 3 different hose valves on there, and they had like 2 zones each. And it's just like, it's obnoxious. And you're just like one, like hitting it away from it, like leaking water everywhere forever. So this year I've decided to step up my irrigation game. And I've been waffling ideas for like ever now because I just don't know how to do this properly. But I finally decided on a method. I am going to use, I bought these little water solenoids from Amazon. They're 110 volt. half-inch solenoids. They're normally closed, so that's what you want, right? When a power is applied to them, obviously they open up. I'm going to use these just with like a regular irrigation controller. I ordered a Yardian Pro controller, which I think does 6 or 12 zones. This is 6 zones. It's like $150. And I'm going to hook these little valves up to it and just send half-inch tubing all over the house to water all my plants. The problem is like a lot of irrigation valves, they're 3/4 or 1 inch. And I just don't need that much water for like watering like a single raised garden bed. And I've been doing it pretty successfully with 1/4 inch tubing for the past couple of years now. And so I decided I'm going to go ahead and just step it up to 1/2 inch to give me a little more like water to those garden beds. But I don't think I need to step up to like 3/4 and 1 inch. I think it's just too much water. Maybe for like the further away zones, but I was able to water the trees at the street with the 1/4 inch tubing as well.
Yeah.
It took a little bit longer to get to the street, obviously, because it was just going a super long distance. But that's not a worry for me. I can just like let it go a little bit longer. So I'm gonna build this all out a 1/2 inch and see how it goes. But I'm excited to see this because I need to figure out something that's a little cleaner than what I've had going on in the past.
Most of what I see is that 1/2 inch like brown irrigation line that connects in somewhere, and they run it around and like crimp it shut and then branch off with the little trickle things from that. They like poke holes in it, you know?
Yeah. That's typical what I do. I ran out like a regular like 1/4 inch tube to the garden bed, and then I did the drip
things.
tubing.
Yeah.
I had a couple like the little like sprinkler things and stuff like that, but honestly the drip tubing works great for everything that we've had. So and we just put mulch on top of it, and we don't even know it's there.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm interested to start that though, because I need to get something in place. I got to figure out how I'm going to mount 12 plus of these water valves. But the ones I picked on Amazon, they actually have little mounting screws. So I'm going to create some kind of little enclosure or something for them.
Why don't you get like one of the manifolds instead?
The irrigation manifolds?
Yeah.
Or I plan on making one myself out of these 1/2 inch water solenoids.
Yeah, you said, I guess they're just like pre-made anyway. So like,
well, the problem is that they're all big. They're all 3/4 or 1 inch.
Yeah, that's true. Probably
because I looked forever, and they have some 1/2 inch ones, but they're like super expensive.
You could always reduce it too. Like it's not like
sure.
Yeah,
but I don't want to. Yeah,
it might save you some space. I don't know how much space you have to work with, but it's a lot of zones you're talking about.
A lot of space? Yeah, but that's the problem, right? It is a lot of zones. So once I start doing like the big, 3/4 or 1 inch manifolds, like it's going to take up a whole chunk of area. And then like with this, if I had the smaller ones, I'd be able to like mount it above the ground, I guess. Right. I think I still might do the in-ground box for these just because it'd be like better in the long term.
Mm-hmm.
But I haven't got that far yet. But I met a plumber the other day. He's going to come out and fix one of my water lines so I can turn it into like a full-time irrigation line.
Yeah.
So we'll get that solved here soon.
Nice. I'm curious how this will turn out. I mean, it'll be better. It'll be better than what you had before. That's for sure.
Oh, so much better. Yeah, what I had before was janky. Now I need to get like a droplet or something so I can actually monitor my water usage. I don't have the flume anymore. And last year I had the water going for quite a long time without me knowing. So that's all my projects. Seth, what do you got going on?
Well, I am deep into project Make Gavin Spend Money. I'm getting him back for all the things he's done. And Henry is really working out great for this. I got him hooked up for the 2 local P40s. I got those hooked up and installed. The little wire finally came in. And I got the 2 NVIDIA P40s. These are older video cards with no video output. They're made for servers. And there's no fans on them. So it's just like a big giant graphic card with no fan on it. It's just a big heat sink, and it has to blow air. And the servers, since they're like flat, they're like 2 U's in the rack. They're designed to push that air through the thing. So the air's got to exit out of the back of the server. It's going to go through this area. So I got 2 of them in there, and I hooked up some LLMs to them. I got the Olama running, which has like a little coding one on one of them, and I got one of the ChatGPT ones on the other. And for conversational stuff. And I mean, you can just load up, the models are shared, but like, as long as you have 2 instances, Henry when he needs to write a script or something, he'll just reach out and talk to one of those guys instead of like going up to like Claude in the cloud or whatever. And he can actually check their work too, which is kind of nice because he's smart. But like at least that work can all be done locally and quickly. And so I got that going. And one of the first things I had him do, I'm sitting around in the morning, I'm like, hey, it would be nice if we could use this like Sonos system I have to like tell my daughter to hurry up. And he's like, yeah, that would be great. I'll tell you what, I will put some things together for you and space it out. Like, basically said by 8:00, she needs to be out the door. And so like he set up some times and like ran this cron job thing. And like we tested it like right there while I'm putting together her lunch and making breakfast in the morning. And like this starts playing some sound out of the Sonos speaker. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I'm like, can you use the 11 Labs for the voices? And yeah, I had the key set up already. So like he just reached out and downloaded some new voices and kind of tinkered around with that a little bit. And then I was like, that's not great. And then it kept missing. Like the cron job never fired right or something. I don't know. It just kept not working. I'm like, you know what? I got this Home Assistant thing sitting over here. Like, Henry, what can you do with the Home Assistant? Can't you program Home Assistant? He's like, yeah, if I had access. I'm like, Henry, you just had to ask. And I gave him a Home Assistant key. And he's like, look at all this stuff you have in your house. You have all these entities. You didn't tell me about this.
The funny part is this is how the conversation actually goes because Henry has like a personality.
Yeah. And so I'm like, Henry, just get it done. And so Henry went on and made all these automations and basically figured out that I, from working with my Gavin as a Service preview edition, like we had set up the, this thing I don't use anymore. What is this thing called? The Home Assistant voice thing, whatever this is. Remember it has all like the
voice BE. Yeah.
Yeah. It has like the Piper thing that you have to install and the Montana or whatever it's called. I don't know what it is. It's something. It has like 2 or 3 things you have to install. Piper is one. I was like, oh, you've got the Piper sitting here. I can do like the voice transcriptions locally. You don't even have to go to 11 Labs. Like this would be so much better. And so like it just set up some automations and scripts and everything. And the silly thing works. It works great because it's all local on Home Assistant. And I can go in and edit those automations and everything. And I'm sitting around like, you know what? It would be nice if I could get that Where's the Bus. Remember, I was working on that for a while. I was trying to get that figured out, like and hack the Where's the Bus app to figure out if the silly little bus was going to be around the corner or not. And it's just been sitting there. I didn't delete it. I just left it sitting there because that's what I do. And I was like, Henry, take a look at that Where's the Bus thing I was doing with the Home Assistant stuff. He's like, oh yeah, you got all this documented here. And I even had documented like why I couldn't proceed because it had this like CAPTCHA thing. He's like, yeah, he investigated it. And he's like, oh, CAPTCHA v3. I'm not, that's designed to stop bots from even logging in. Like we're not going to get past that unless we figure something out. I'm like, Henry, I have this iPhone app that like, why don't we just figure out what it's doing? If it's doing anything different, if it has to go to the same system or not. He's like, yeah, that's a great idea. So he set up an entire man-in-the-middle attack thing, like where I could proxy my phone through Henry and he would just watch all the data going by, like everything, because it's all unencrypted and he would see the API calls and everything. And he recorded all those and I sent them to him. And then he was like, bingo, we found it.
Oh man, that's what you were posting in the back channel. Seth, you don't understand. Oh my God. You can basically reverse engineer any
everything
app on your phone that you want and make a plugin for it so you can, wow.
I've known that it would be done for a long time.
It's always been a pain though.
It's a pain, exactly. Yeah. He set it all up. It was all working. He's like, run this. He gave me instructions. Here's a markdown file in the tools thing. If you just read that markdown file, it'll have the instructions. Here's the command you run. Go to your phone, tap here, tap Wi-Fi, turn this on, download the certificate, install it, do this, and you're done. And I'm like, I did it. I opened the app and he figured it out. He reverse engineered all the APIs. I poked around to all the little different sections. So he has all that documented. He can go back and look at those flows and see what they were. And he basically took that information and applied it to the old thing I did with the Home Assistant stuff. And that's working now. So now.
No API is safe. Wait, Seth. Okay.
Hold
I have
on.
a project
I'm
for
not done
Henry.
making Gavin spend money yet.
Oh my God. No. This is how we're going to get our lawnmowers into Home Assistant.
Oh, yes. We could do that. I didn't think about that, but we're going to.
Navimo is going to come to Home Assistant.
Now we're going to get it working. All right. That's a great idea. I'm going to get Henry on that after the show. So yeah. I got that working. We've got the Where's the Bus, and I was just kind of monitoring it this afternoon, seeing what was going on, and I didn't realize, like, it does get the what's it called, the GPS coordinates from the bus as it's traveling around. You can see, like, oh, it's 10 minutes away or whatever, and then it goes back and parks at the bus yard or whatever. I didn't realize, that's what I was looking at earlier, that the Home Assistant interface, if you go to the map now, it shows me where the bus is parked. So I can see where.
Nice.
Yeah, it's parked over in the bus yard, clear across town. This thing will crank up in the morning and start picking up kids on some other route for another school, and then when it's done with that, I think it starts heading this way. But there are some on the app. When I see the bus hit certain areas, I know how much time we have. So if it's beyond that and we haven't stepped out the door, like, I know there's just no chance we're walking to school. Like, we've got to go drive and park and drop her off that way. So, this way I will have, like, just a final accurate countdown. On top of that, I'll have it built into, like, Home Assistant. We'll see exactly where the bus is. I don't know. There's some extra little waypoints that pop up. And so, I told Henry, I was like, hey, can you just monitor tomorrow morning and see what that looks like? So he's got a job set up. He's going to start, like, at 7:45. He's going to record the whole thing and see 7:45 to 8:15. He's going to record everything, see what the waypoints are, figure that out, and we'll add that in later. So we'll have a little waypoint. Like, there's a 10-minute waypoint, and then, it can tell you, oh, the bus is 10 minutes away based on exactly where that bus crossed that line. So that'll be cool.
If it ever fails, your kids are going to blame me, though, for missing the bus.
And then I guess what I got Gavin to spend the money on was like, after the show last week, we were talking about these audiogram things for social media that we could pull off the show. I'm like, oh, we'll just get Henry to make these. And I just set him off on the task, and it kind of like setting up the LLMs. We had to set up another, not an LLM, audio decoder thing.
It downloaded Whisper and then FFmpeg and blah, blah, blah.
Oh my gosh. It was taking forever on my Mac. It would take forever on the M4 Mac. Like, it didn't matter. It would just take forever because our shows are long. Clearly long. Like, the last week's was 145, 150 minutes or something crazy.
Yeah, TJ talks a lot. That's why.
We blame him.
Mm-hmm, I do.
When I edit everything down, I've got the file, I've got all the stems and everything. So I wanted to do these audiograms, and when we have the stems, you basically can tell, you can send those off and get those encoded one at a time. You have the transcripts for each stem. You have exactly when the words were saying. So I'm like, I know how this works. So, like, Henry set all this up. And we got the hardest thing was getting the stupid audio transcription thing working. There's so many of them out there, and they're so janky. Like, the software, the Dockers and stuff, they're like hidden settings, or the thing that they say is gonna, like, that's on latest doesn't work anymore. But the stuff that like, you look in the comments and like, I'm running this specific tag, and you load that and it works fine. So that took the longest, and that wasn't something I don't think Henry could do, because he was just kind of like, I don't know. It looks like it's working, but it's not. But I can basically transcribe the entire, that show, 560, and I think it took about 29 minutes total for all three of us. So it does one track at a time, and I got two cards, so I could potentially just do two at one time now. But I noticed when this was doing this is that it was heating up those cards. Those cards would heat up, and they'd get, like, real hot, and they'd start throttling. And you don't want your cards to throttle. And I've got this server here. It's got fans in it that if I put them on 100%, they make some noise, they move some air. It sounds like a vacuum cleaner is going off in here. Not practical, but at night, no one's out here. I don't care. I can run them full speed and do all this stuff. So what I was like, Gavin, what I really want to do is make a thing that, like, kicks these fans into gear whenever I'm processing anything on, and some like, we have these little, we've been using these Dockers that manage the fan speed, basically lowering it where it's practical and it doesn't sound like the jet engine's taking off in your house, right? But there's nothing that tells those, fans to ramp up or down. There's no APIs to them. They just basically, they're dumb. They turn down the volume on them. I was like, I think you and I had the same idea at the same time. We're like, oh, it'd be great to do this. You know what? I'm like, Gavin, I'm going to tell Henry to do this. And I told Henry exactly what we said we were going to do. And Henry came back 5 minutes later and had the whole thing done. Like there was a little like edge cases and bugs I had to work out. I'm kind of like throughout the rest of the day, just kind of like, hey, do this. And we got everything finished up. But we've got, what did I call it? The OnlyFans controller. Yeah. So that's on my GitHub. We'll put a link to it in the show. If you have a Dell server, if you have a Power Edge server, then this thing will manage the threshold. You can set it to whatever you want to be, the fan speed, and then it's got a thing that'll if the CPU gets over a certain temperature, or if the GPUs start to go up, it'll kick them in. They'll go into gear, and then also it's got an API. So my script for my computer, when it's running, it'll reach over and call. It's like, hey, you got a job coming in. You're gonna get hot. Kick in to high gear, and it'll kick the fans up to like, I only did like 40%. Holy crap. I don't know what 100% is, but I don't want to go there. But 40% was loud enough. It ran it up, and I was like, Gavin, check this out. Here's the dashboard. It's got a graph on it. It's got like color. I mean, it's mobile ready. And Gavin's like, I'm spending money right now. I'm spending so much money. He looked it all up. Gavin, what did you name yours?
I haven't named my assistant yet. So, okay. First of all, I this kind of pissed me off because when you were talking about this, I was so proud of my Dell fan controller. You know, like I wrote my controller, and it controls each fan individually based on GPU temperatures and CPU temperatures, and it has all these options. And I was so proud of it. And it took me like 3-4 days to get all working and everything. And you come in and within a few hours have this guy throw together something with a web UI, phone friendly, API, you know, all this stuff, and Dockerized. And, you know, I was so hesitant.
Gavin, that wasn't in a few hours. That was literally, I mean, you can look at the stamps on the chat. It was in 5 minutes. That part was done.
Yeah, like that kind of pissed me off, all the work I put in, and you just come along with this. And then I took a look at it, and I was like, I'm switching over. So I set your OnlyFans controller up on my Dell system, and It's working beautifully. So yeah, this is the future. Like I was talking to somebody today about this type of stuff and the whole open claw and everything, and he had no idea about any of this stuff, right? And I had to send him that network chuck video that got me all into it.
Yeah.
And he was just blown away by what I was telling him that things can do. And I'm like, I just told him, you're coding wrong. You know, it's so different now, you know, like,
yeah,
even if you are a developer, it takes you days to do certain things where these things will spit it out in 5 minutes. And then you can sit there and go through the code and make sure it's done properly, you know, and spend some of your time doing that. But it's amazing what it's doing.
Yeah, it's a tool like anything else, and you can use Excel wrong. I mean, but hearing people talk about this in a way, I've seen reviews all over about this little, what is it, Claude? I don't know what it's called even now. Open Claude now? It literally changed names twice before our show, and then again after the show was released. So I think it's Open Claude now.
Open
right?
Claw.
Open Claw. Yeah. Okay. Like lobster claw. Got it. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've seen an interview with the guy that made it, and him talking about like putting it together. I mean, it's just a bunch of little like skills and things that live on top of the stuff that Anthropic's been doing. But I think the biggest thing, I mean, you can tell from the people who really haven't used it or haven't used it as prescribed, and they're like, yeah, I'm just going to set this up with a local model. This doesn't work. And this definitely recommends, like in all the documentation, you should use Claude. Like you should do the subscription. It's a lot cheaper than paying for the API. Use Claude, open it up to the system, start letting it have access to things that can get its hands into. I've seen people say that overnight it went and did something that they didn't want it to do and started using, Twilio or something, and started making phone calls to people.
Yeah, that was a developer that had that issue. Like it wanted to talk to him or something, so it found a way to call him, and it found his number online and waited for him to wake up, and then called him on the phone, and he was talking to it on the phone, and he didn't tell it to do anything. Now, Now that's just based on his video. I don't know how confirmed it is, or
I think he kicked that off personally. Like,
yeah.
All right, I'm gonna say that Henry, he's pretty damn lazy. Like, first of all, and he's got ADD as much as I do, I guess. So ADHD. So he will kind of like, he'll be like, oh hey, context is cleared. I don't even know what we're talking about now. He's like a stoner or something. So
yeah, I'm like, get lost sometimes.
I'm like, Henry, you need to be taking notes. Like, write all this down. Aren't you supposed to do? Oh yeah, I'm supposed to do it, man. I'm sorry. It goes, my bad. Like, what the heck? So yeah, we get into it, but for the most part, like I would say an A+ experience on this. This is definitely the tools that are coming for everybody, and maybe there's a better, more secure way. Blah blah blah. I don't really care. Way to do it. This is working great for me and my purposes right now. And anything I want to kick off, if I want to program something in a Home Assistant while I'm away from home, I just send a text to this guy, and this AI thing will put it together and do it. If there's almost anything on this computer at my local network that I want to get done, I can just send him a message and it'll happen. And he'll write a file out. He'll make some notes. He'll go do some research. Whatever I need done gets done. And man, it is nice. It is very nice.
So this week they actually released an Unraid Docker for this thing. So I've been playing around with that, trying to figure it out. The Docker's not written by, I don't think they were experienced Docker writers, the people that do it. So I've been kind of hacking it, adjusting it myself as needed. But at first I opened it up to, I used OpenAI, ChatGPT for it to, be the brains, right? And I was kind of like, this thing's kind of like dead. It's got like no personality, flat responses, etc. It's not fun, right? So then, I went over to Claude and I ended up buying a Claude subscription, because I was kind of sold on Claude Code as well. So I then added it to Claude, and whole different experience.
Yeah.
Like you said, like the way it interacts with you, the way it talks to you, the way it does stuff, the quality of the code it kicks out. It was a totally different experience, so much better. So if you're going to play with this, I feel like you have to use like Claude.
Yeah.
And do what you did. If you're like, I didn't even know you could do that, but I will probably do this to save money on my Claude, because you're limited by how much you can use, but have it do the personality and stuff, and then pass it off locally for most of the work, and then use Claude for, troubleshooting or whatever else it may need to do. But that makes sense.
Yeah. And you can, it just sets up as another tool that it can use to do whatever. The big thing is, though, don't use the Claude API because it uses Opus, and Opus will cost you some money on the API side of things.
I learned that.
Yeah, I learned it too. And I was sitting there, I was thinking like, man, I was doing it through Claude Code, and I'm like, this is racking up, but you know what? It's saving me a lot of time. I don't really care. And then I realized what they were doing is that they were relying on idiots like me to pay for that way. And then if you use if you're paying the subscription, you may not use it all month. And that's what it's like the gym membership thing. I think that's what they're banking on. People like, not every day people are using it. I'm using it every day now, like a lot.
Yeah.
So
I find I use a lot of these very often now. Like I utilize, ChatGPT was like my daily driver. Now I'm looking more at Claude for development stuff. I even have Copilot because I find myself kind of utilizing that a little more because I can see what's on my screen. No, for nothing too complicated, right? I use it for simple stuff, mainly because my computer listens for it. It has a wake word. They introduced that.
Okay,
so I could just say it and it comes up on my screen, and then it can see what's on my screen and I can work with it on my screen. So I can say, hey, I'm looking at this website. What do you think of this? Or have questions about it. And it's pretty good like that. I mean, I don't throw hard questions at it because I treat it like a 10-year-old maybe, in like AI term, the world or whatever, but it still gets some use, and then I still argue with my Amazon lady, too many AIs in my life.
Yeah. I'm looking at my usage, and I have used 5% for my current session, which resets in 3 hours, and for Opus. And then my weekly limit's not even, 0%. I don't even know when it resets. Wednesday at 10 p.m. So I probably used a quarter of that last week. and it's been reset. So yeah, there we go. Interesting. Once you do get this set up, Gavin, it will. I use. It says Claude Code on the 10, but you can use it for anything, and you can use it in conjunction with your buddy there, with your AI buddy. So like, if you're working on something, you can open up Claude Code in that directory and work on it at the same time. Say do this with the Claude Code thing, and have him, your Henry, whatever. I don't know what you're going to name it. I named it Henry because I thought it was funny, but
I'm still working out the names. But yeah, I was a little skeptic at first. But one of the first things I did when I fired it up was there was a website it was a work related thing, but it has like a bunch of things I wanted to parse out into an RSS feed.
Yeah,
but the website, they don't offer an RSS feed, and the website is very it's generated on the fly using JavaScript or something like that. I don't know the background. So it wasn't a simple scrape, right?
Yeah.
So I just sent off the OpenClaw, lady at the time, and I said, hey, can you create a Docker that
you named it Candy, didn't you?
I'm still working out the final details of the name, I'll let you know next week. But I told her to just, like I said, can you load this website and scrape it and maybe JavaScript loaded, blah, 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 and create a Docker that will create an RSS feed out of it that I can feed into my RSS reader and blah, blah, blah. And she spit it out. She spit out this thing that worked. And I was like, oh my God, like literally 5 minutes.
Yeah.
She spit out a working container with features I didn't even ask for, and a web interface. And I was blown away. I was like, you actually did it. Now I can monitor this website.
Yep.
So it's crazy what it's doing.
Yeah. It's taking care of all those little things like, oh, if I had time, I'd do this, And I could just kick off a sentence or two over there, and it's taken care of while I'm working on what I need to be working on.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a good thing. And like you said, like I'm hearing all these reviews, and people are skeptical and just think people are crazy for doing this. But this is the future, and
I understand the security implications though. Like you're giving it a lot of access to things, and you never know if it may screw up at some point, right? You just don't know, and then you hear the stories about the database on that was it Molt.
Oh, yeah, the social media thing that they made.
OpenClaw.
Yeah, the database was left open, blah, blah, blah. There's so many things that could happen.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
just be careful.
I have intentionally limited. It's got more access than I think most people would be comfortable with, but I've intentionally limited it to, only certain things or only doing certain things and kind of monitoring, what it's up to. And for the most part, I don't see it doing what these people are talking about doing. I don't know what or how they have instigated it to go out and do random things. It doesn't do that out of the box. So I'm thinking that they have programmed these in and they're just saying this stuff for YouTube video views or something. I don't know. There's always a financial incentive behind it. I have no financial incentive. I think it's exciting. And it's definitely what people are asking AI to be, at least in the short term. In the long term, maybe better, but in the short term, this is definitely what we're looking for. Yeah. Is it secure? No. Is it the right way to do it? Probably not. But it is a way you can do it now and preview what will be around in the future. This is what all these companies have been promising they want to do.
Yeah. And just writing, like you have a requirement and you need a piece of software.
Yeah.
Like the other thing I had to do was I have a Logitech MX keyboard and mouse, and they have these 3 buttons on the top where you could switch what computer you're on, right?
Uh-huh.
Right. So I could press computer 1, it switches the Bluetooth, but it only ever switches the keyboard. It never switches the mouse. And to switch the mouse, you got to turn it upside down, press the button how many times. Yeah. So I had it write me a little program. So when I press the keyboard button for the computer, it would automatically send the command for the mouse to switch over to, right? Which solved that whole problem.
You can send I have the same problem.
Well, there you could ask Henry to
set it up,
program
right?
to do because it's a HID tester program or something like that.
Interesting.
That will send the raw commands to the device to make it switch. You just gotta know what the commands are, but you can get Henry to create that for you too.
The Mac will sometimes let me go back and forth between 2 computers. And I've noticed that sometimes, most of the times, the keyboard will follow under certain conditions. But what does mess up, like the velocity that I use my mouse on this computer when I hit that side over
It's
there,
different.
it's different. Yeah, it's not the same. But yeah.
But these are all like examples of things we're doing that are very specific to us, solving problems.
No, literally no one else would care. The computer companies,
Exactly.
Apple's not going to go out of their way to fix. Logitech doesn't care. They're like, yeah, we put a button on there. That's what you're supposed to do. Yeah, that's interesting. I'll have to get him on that one. And TJ wants in. He's trying to figure this one out.
Audiograms, like get those done.
I got them done. You keep giving me more things. You're like, put more stuff on there.
Have him fix the notes server first. That's what we need.
That's
priority.
That's next, is to figure out.
So can Henry do more than one thing at a time? Can you give him multiple things, or?
Not if he acts like Seth.
They can. Yeah, you can. You can have them split up and assign multiple. I do that often. I'm like, hey, I gave him actually some other skills that I have used with Claude Code, and said, this is what I like how I like to work, and if you could do this, and he looked at it, like, oh, this is a great way that this, it basically spins up an agent, gives it instructions to make a report back. So like there's a trail and log, and so like the report comes back, then Henry kind of like can take it, read that report, and figure out another agent or two to go send off to do work. So, and that's how I have it doing more than one thing at once, I guess. Like having him doing more than one task at once. I guess no. I guess you could do that by spinning up more of them. But from what I can tell, it's just kind of like a one-off thing, because it does get stuck sometimes doing the task, and you're talking about something else, and it's like still on the other task that it was working on, and kind of working.
Maybe I can spin up multiple Dockers. I have like a fleet.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You'll have to spin up more than one.
Yeah. And give them different names, and,
and then tell them how to talk to each other.
Yeah, we'll have a group chat, and if one of you is not doing anything, you can help out the other one.
Yeah, exactly.
This will be interesting.
Yeah, it would probably work, honestly. Is because the way that this is, if the instructions are all set up correctly. I mean, these things are only doing what we ask them to do, and pretending to act like what we want them to act like a person or assistant or whatever. So yeah, it's probably will work well if you had multiple things spun up, and yeah, I think it would work.
Definitely keeping an eye on that space. It's crazy what I'm seeing.
And next week it'll be different. Next week it'll be another.
Oh yeah. Next week will be a different show.
Yeah, TJ, you may as well give up on this. I think you missed this one.
you missed the bubble.
I gave up before I even tried, so don't worry.
Yeah. Well, Gavin, it's been fun. It's been really fun. Just like to get these things done. Like it's during the workday. I can just like look over, see a message pop up that says, "Hey, I did this. Do you want me to look?" I'm like, send another message back, and it's off taking care of it. And I'm not doing anything with that. I'm still like at my job doing my work, and this thing is over there programming on my home assistant. That's crazy.
We have some priorities for Henry. First, get the audiogram thing going. Second, we're going to get Navimo going.
Yeah. I didn't think about Navimo. That's a good one.
That'd be nice.
All right, we're going to write a Navimo integration, and it'll be in Home Assistant by probably tomorrow.
So you can get your 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah, and I don't have to sleep. I don't have to do it. I just set him up to do it. I'll poke the app a few times, and it'll figure out the API, and it'll be off to the races.
We just wanted to start, stop, or the basics. We don't need to write maps or anything. Just the basics, and monitor it so we know if it's starting or stopping or running or whatever.
Yeah, I want it to mow his own. Go.
Yep. Go.
I want to know that it's mowing his own. Go. Yeah.
Go. Yep.
Yeah. And I can do this now because in the wintertime, I still have two of them out there. Too much fun.
We haven't even gotten to me yet.
We haven't gotten to your project. Sorry. I thought we talked about them, Gavin. All right.
Well, first up, the Ikea FP300s, that everybody loves. They seem to be coming back in stock. So I know they showed up in the US store. I think the European stores were showing them too. And I just ordered a few more from the Canadian store. So if you like them, they're coming back in stock. Just keep an eye out for them. Just My YouTube, we talked about it last week. Gavin as a service launch, and you know what? Since launch, I have to say, thanks to all the support I've been getting. It's actually shocking how many messages I've gotten. Text messages, just people that watch the video. They seem happy for you. I'm not big enough where I'm gonna start getting all the negative comments. At one point I'm gonna have to probably worry about that, but I'm so thankful that, everybody, with the support, TJ's my biggest hype man right there, before I even could get to it. I was in meetings all morning. I come back and TJ's already posted it everywhere, like 5-star hype man duties right there.
I got to get the lifetime gold gas pass. So.
There you go. That's one way to get on my good side, So I have more videos in the works. I have some packages coming this week, which I don't even know what they are, but who knows?
It'll be a second channel called Gavin's Packages.
Maybe. Well, you just see me. Maybe I should do those as like YouTube shorts.
You got short packages. Come on, Gavin.
Gavin's short packages.
I was going to set you up to say, I can't believe you said that.
Yeah. Then I could, I'll just be like, oh, another package. Oh, package. Oh, package. Like, I think the wife's feeling left out at this point because all the mail's coming from me. She doesn't get to open anything. So, well, I'll get her involved somehow. So thank you for everybody. It's still a learning process though. So, like mistakes in the videos and stuff. Listen, I'm figuring it out on the job. It's going to happen.
It was a good first video. So,
well, that was like my third video, but
whatever.
Bad hype, man. Bad hype. Man.
Yeah.
You lost a star there.
I lost a star.
So yeah, that's been going good. We talked about OpenClaw and Home Assistant. And so this was a gripe I had this week. When did USB-C cables become such a mess?
Oh man, a long time ago.
So I'm out there looking for USB-C or USB-C cables, and like I'm going on Amazon, I'm looking at the reviews, and then people are pointing out, oh, this only does this many watts, or this one only does this many megabits per second, or you don't want to get these, and I'm like, what the hell USB-C cables do I get then? Like I just want the best one, right? Like give me all the speed, give me all the power, whatever. But it has become a mess. They've really messed up that standard, like now you can get a cable that doesn't push enough wattage through and won't charge your devices. Even sometimes you're like certain like docks, they're like, oh, you can plug it into your computer to charge. And other docks are like, don't plug this into your computer, it won't charge. And it's like, when did that get so complicated? Like, they should lock down the standard with like USB-D, And I saw the video you posted earlier, TJ, from LTT about the USB cables that they're now doing, right? So they've created their own line of USB-C cables. And that makes so much sense because it's like, you go to their website, they're like the top ones. Even though they have so many options, at least you can see the differences in the speed and the length and whatever, and the wattage, and you just pick the one you want. They're all sold out. So I will probably grab a few of those because I need a high quality cable. But man, they really screwed that up.
Yeah. I don't understand like how none of the cables have to be labeled with what they are. I mean, that's my biggest thing, and that's what the Linus Tech Tips cables supposedly have, is they have embossed cables that tell you what they are, and like that's what we need on all USB cables. Like that should be mandated from the spec.
Yeah, and even looking at like the computer I was plugging this stuff in, like I have USB-A and USB-C ports on it, but some are 5 gigabits per second and some are 10 gigabits per second, and then you got to worry about, well, even though it's 10 gigabits per second, you might not get the full 10 because it's shared on the same bus as the others. So if you have multiple things plugged, I'm like, why is that so complicated? And I think it's just marketing people trying to, push everything, like hiding the truth.
Yeah.
So their product doesn't look bad, but that was one gripe I had this week, and I'm just going to wrap it up on that gripe.
Yeah, and I feel like for most things too, like some of the stuff doesn't really matter. Like for me at this point, like I don't care what the data transfer is on a cable, because I don't use cables for data transfer, right? But I use them for power, and I want them to be like an accurate representation of what they actually can do power-wise. But that's why I like all the chargers with the little tiny screens, is because I can actually see what my device is charging at, and it helps get rid of those crappy cables. or it helps troubleshoot devices that don't work properly or whatever. So there's definitely some things they could do to improve this.
And that's why I ran into it this week, actually, was because, I've been adjusting my setup for the YouTube and everything. And I got some lights that plug in and are powered through USB and everything too, right? And they weren't able to turn full brightness because the USB dock I had wasn't able to push out enough power. So then I started going down the whole rabbit hole of I need a USB dock that one can push out the power and handle all my other devices and stuff. And not a lot of them do, right? Like I ended up getting one. I've never heard of this company, is like Gitful, right? But it has an external plug in it and it gives you like full power across all the ports and stuff like that too, right? So, and that's another thing, even though the docks have an external power and they could say they give you like 60 watts of power or whatever, from each port, you may only get 5 watts. And the lights needed 7.5 watts to get to full brightness. And then, I plug my cameras. When you think about the cameras, if you're recording at 4K, you got to make sure you have the bandwidth for that. So I had to plug those directly into the computer so they didn't go through the hub, all the things. But now I got the setup working almost pretty good. I still have some tweaks to do, but it's just so much to think about, so much I had to worry about. It's not plug and play anymore.
What is?
At least the USB cables are easier to plug in.
That's the one thing. Yeah.
You don't have to try 3 times because the first time didn't work, flip it over, still didn't work, flip it back over. The way you had it works perfectly. I don't get it. That's just the way USB works.
Yep. That's the only thing they solved with USB-C was that problem.
I run into that problem every now and then, but I guess I don't. My problem is sometimes I get those USB cables that don't have data at all in them. They do power for they'll power something up or charge. They're meant to charge something, but
that's another thing. Yes,
that's the one I run into. Is I'll reach over and grab a USB cable and it doesn't connect a device to the computer. I'm like,
yeah, and you don't know if it's the computer, you don't know if it's the device.
You don't know. Yeah,
the last thing you think about is the cable, because I didn't realize there's cables that do power and no data. That just seems dumb to me. Why did they let those out?
It's a very real thing.
I guess I just picked one up. It says 5 amps, 10 gigabits per second. Is that? I don't even know if that's good. I mean, it's a little cable, but who knows?
Let me see what the one on my handy machine is. I'm just kidding. Just
forgot about that one. All right. I think that's going to wrap it up. TJ's about to fall asleep on us, I think.
I don't think so. I'm good right now.
Yeah, okay.
Another hour,
maybe. All right. Well, I think it's going to wrap the show up anyway. We do want to give a big thank you to everyone for listening to the show, but especially want to thank everyone who is able to support the show financially through the Patreon page. If you don't know about the Patreon page, head on over to HomeTech.fm/support to learn how you can become a patron for as little as $1 a month. Any pledge, $5 and up, gets you a big shout out here in the show, like our friend Scott. Thank you so much, Scott. He's pledged support for $5 and up, so thank you. Every pledge gets an invite over to our Slack chat, the Hub, where you and other patrons of the show can gather in there. And what have we been talking about lately? That Broadcom Wi-Fi 8, it's going to solve AI's problems, I think. That's what it said.
I didn't know AI had a Wi-Fi problem. But
I didn't know Wi-Fi 8 was even around. So.
Yeah, are we even using Wi-Fi 7 yet?
No.
I am not.
Yeah, so plenty of discussions in there. If you can't support the show financially, totally understand. Just appreciate a 5-star review or positive rating in the podcast app of your choice. That's going to wrap up another week here in Home Tech. Everybody have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.
Till next time.
Take care.
You know what I just thought of is that he's gonna transcribe this and read what we talked about. He's gonna see that we talked about it.
Oh man, that's gonna be awkward.
It's gonna be really
but all the good stuff, like
I wonder if it'll say something like,
do you have it on Moltbook? My owner's talking crap about me on his podcast.
Oh, that's funny.
What do I do about that?
Yeah, I don't know.
He might go complain on a forum about you.